Hi, folks. Welcome to the Politico Chat. It's Wednesday, April 6th. I'm Alexander Trowbridge. Today we have stories from the Hill, where budget talks are coming right down to the wire, from the Trail, where the Tea Party is already factoring into the 2012 race, and from the DNC, where Debbie Wasserman Schultz will replace Tim Kaine. For more on these stories, we're joined by Politico's David Catanese. David, on the shows last night and this morning, and even at Politico's Playbook Breakfast, politicians have been all over the map about what they think will happen with this government shutdown. Here's a couple clips.
You think there will be a shutdown, won't be a shutdown?
I hope there won't be a shutdown. There is a glimmer of hope here, but it's a glimmer. Okay. I wouldn't say it's even close to a done deal.
I firmly believe that by Friday a deal will be made. I doubt that we'll see a government shutdown in the final analysis, and then we'll move on to 2012, and then you'll see, I think, some dramatic cuts in government spending.
Speaker Boehner would like to avoid a shutdown because he knows it would be a bad thing for the Republican Party, but that the Tea Party and their adherents in the House are pulling him further and further away from coming to a compromise.
I cannot vote for the current compromise that we're looking at. I don't think it is sufficient because primarily it doesn't include the defunding of Obamacare. So for me, and for me only, I can't go down that road.
How is the debate being framed?
Well, I mean, you heard it there pretty starkly put by Senator Schumer and Michelle Bachmann, two central players, two big voices in this debate. With Schumer taking one position, Bachmann taking the other. I think, both sides are trying to really frame this to their advantage. Democrats are sort of more going with the gloom and doom argument, saying this could be very terrible. This could happen. It's coming. The government could shut down, or it's the Republicans' fault if it does. While Republicans are saying, look, no, we're trying to make this happen, and some of them are doing the wink and nod. You have some Tea Party members saying, shut it down. But you also have some House members saying, even like Michelle Bachmann says, no, I think we will reach an agreement.
Representative Paul Ryan's budget that he came out with yesterday, how does that affect the debate?
I think it dropped like a ton of bricks. It basically owned much of the debate. Democrats immediately attacked it for his large, cuts to Medicare and entitlement programs, while some Republicans were embracing the principle that he's the serious guy, he's the adult in the room. They weren't jumping on board for the specifics, and I think that shows how drastic of a plan it is. I think you have to give him credit for being very bold, but when push comes to shove, everyone knows that who are the voters in these elections that send them back? Old people. And who are these entitlement programs going to affect? Old people. So they don't want to go too far out because this is one of those game-changing budgets which could have a huge impact on 2012 elections.
You mentioned in there the Tea Party and some of the pressure they're putting on the debate. It seems also that they're having quite an effect on the 2012 race, and Ken Vogel points out today that they're already factoring in. What are you hearing?
I think there's no question that the Tea Party is going to have an effect on the 2012 race. We just don't know how large an effect and if they're going to be unified. Because remember, there's more than one Tea Party group. There's all these different groups out there. They each have their own sort of niche that they like to use and sort of separate themselves from the pack. But the Tea Party Express is one of the larger groups, if not the largest. They're trying to bring all the candidates in, as Ken Vogel reports, talk to their advisors of Romney and Haley Barbour and Newt Gingrich and Tim Pawlenty, and they're looking at electability, but they're also, which I think is interesting, trying to get them all to participate in a summer bus tour, and that's going to be a tough issue for these candidates. Do they really want to be attached that closely to the Tea Party movement? Do you see some of them go and others sort of look for some distance and try to get their own independence? But one of the things the Tea Party said at a recent breakfast is they are going to be looking at electability. It's not only going to be about ideology. So that's sort of an interesting take from a group that is very ideologically driven and cares about the issues.
It almost seems as if they've learned some lessons from 2010.
Yeah, I think so, and I think the stakes are higher. Remember, right, this is the presidential race. This is not one Senate seat or one House seat. This is the presidential race. It's a fluid race. You've got a lot of different candidates who could appeal to the Tea Party. I mean, Michelle Bachmann's the Tea Party caucus chairman in the House. Could she run for president? It looks sure like she's going towards it. Then you have Newt Gingrich, who's a policy wonk. Rick Santorum may have some Tea Party support in there. So I think it's fractured right now on who the Tea Party would get behind, and that's why there's sort of this, organizational movement to try to say, let's make this a more orderly process.
This has been a week of big announcements that we saw coming.
Right.
First, it started with Barack Obama launching his 2012 campaign, much anticipated, much predicted. But it also saw the announcement of Tim Kaine in his bid for the Senate in Virginia. That set off a bit of a kind of chain reaction. What's happening now?
Well, Tim Kaine is in the race finally. This is what we've been waiting for. It's been almost 2 months since Jim Webb, hung it up and said he wasn't going to run again. All the speculation that Tim Kaine was going to run. He was telling college students, apparently, in Richmond that he was going to run. But this was the formal rollout. He did it on Twitter. Big surprise, right? Put out his video. So he's in. That immediately engages sort of a clash of the titans race against George Allen, who has a primary to get through first. We should note that, being what happened in 2010. But certainly puts them on the path towards that epic Senate match in Virginia. But it also opens up the DNC, and pretty much, immediately Obama chose Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz from the state of Florida, a key battleground state. She's key for a couple of reasons. She's not only good on television and on all the cable shows, which is important for a party spokesperson to be drumming that message every day and doing it effectively, but she's also a very good fundraiser from a key battleground state that's going to be crucial to Obama's reelection in 2012.
If people are looking for an Obama 2012 strategy here, whether he's going towards more moderate Democrats or more of the progressive message pushers, does the choice between Ken Strickland and ultimately going with Debbie Wasserman Schultz give us any hints?
I think it gives you a hint to say they're going a little more edgier. I think Wasserman Schultz, because she's a female as well, and there was some grumbling from females that were saying, hey, it's time for a woman. It's been 15 years, I believe, since the last a female DNC chair, and Obama had sort of a reputation as a boys' club place, so that was important, I think, to a key constituency of the Democratic Party. Will Debbie Wasserman Schultz be able to go to every place that Ted Strickland might have? Possibly not. She's a little, edgier. I think will she be able to play in places like Southern Ohio? I'm not sure. But I think they went with, television personality, fundraising ability, and having a female, sending a strong message to a key constituency of the Democratic Party that's going to be important.
Hey, David, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.